From the streets of Nairobi to the heart of Lagos, Africa's youngest generation is rising. They've turned hashtags into weapons and camera phones into shields. They are bold, digital, and unapologetically political. This is the story of Gen Z versus the system, Africa's new revolution.
I'm here for Kenya, I'm here for my people, I'm here for your rights.
Across Africa, generational awakening is unfolding. In the last year, Gen Z protests have erupted from Kenya and Uganda to Nigeria, Ghana, Morocco, and Madagascar. In Mozambique, Angola, Senegal, and South Africa, youth movements have demanded dignity, jobs, and accountability. These are not just protests, they are a demand to be seen, to be heard, and to be counted. It began in Kenya with hashtag Occupy Parliament. Young people filled the streets, chanting against punitive taxes and corruption.
The young people of this country will no longer withstand this impunity. We have lost all our fear.
They live-streamed clashes, exposed abuses, and turned TikTok and X into a front line of truth. In a country long divided by tribe and class, Gen Z united as citizens, not subjects. The movement, which successfully pressured the government to withdraw the bill,
Reject finance bill! Reject!
saw demonstrators occupy and set fire to a section of the Parliament building. Their protest was not about politics. It was about principles, demanding that those in power finally listen.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm here to address you.
By now, we have nothing to lose.
We are rejecting it, every clause. And we are not asking for any amendment. We are asking for them to reject it.
Everything, withdraw it. The money that you use us to travel, ajipange, ametuharibia economy.
The spark from Kenya spread first. In Madagascar, beginning in September 2025, Gen Z-led protests over water and electricity shortages spiraled into a movement calling for the president's resignation. The demonstrations led to a military intervention and President Ridah Chebet fleeing the country in mid-October 2025. In Morocco, a youth-led movement known as Gen Z 212 organized protests across several cities in 2025. Demonstrators demanded better public services, protesting government spending in World Cup infrastructure, while public hospitals and schools remained underfunded.
Whether this movement will bear its fruits, I think it's very soon to tell. There will still be, political changes that will come in the upcoming days, and up until then we cannot really predict what's going to happen because, in politics there are lots of variables that enter in the equation, and a lot of things can change from, between 2 days, So I think that it's too soon to tell, but obviously the youth are hope.
In several cities, including Casablanca, hundreds of young protesters once again voiced anger at elected officials, demanding ouster of Prime Minister Aziz Akanouch, who they called corrupt. In Uganda, in July 2024, anti-corruption protests emerged. Inspired by a Kenyan youth protest, the demonstrations in Uganda were met with crackdowns, mass arrest, and accusations by the president that protesters were working with foreign agents.
This protest today was organized to address the issue of corruption that is rampant in this government today. So that's why the youth were mobilized to march to Parliament and show our dissatisfaction with the corruption. The youths in both countries, in both Kenya and Uganda, share similar problems.
And in Senegal, Gen Z mobilized through social media and street protests to oppose former President Macky Sall's actions, which they saw as attempts to undermine democracy and sideline political opponents like Osman Sonko. Fueled by long-standing frustrations over high youth unemployment and a worsening economy, the youth-led demonstrations were crucial in challenging the government's authority, particularly after an attempt to delay the 2024 presidential election. The sustained digital and on-the-ground activism ultimately pressured the government to reverse key decisions and pave the way for opposition candidate Bassirou Diomaye Faye, Sonko's ally, to win the presidency in a historic election. Different languages, different leaders, but the same heartbeat. A generation no longer waiting for permission to speak.
We demand IMF to come and carry their own puppet.
Across the continent, governments have pushed back, shutting down the internet, arresting activists, and spreading propaganda.
It is not in order or even conceivable that criminals pretending to be peaceful protesters can rain terror against the people, their elected representatives, and the institutions established under our Constitution, and expect to go scot-free.
But Gen Z has adapted. They have used VPNs, encrypted chats, and social media to outsmart censorship. They have learned that silence serves the oppressor and that their power lies in connection. Every time the system tries to silence them, they become louder. Every crackdown creates a conversation. Every protest plants a seed. What is happening in Africa is not chaos, it is change. Gen Z is not rebelling for rebellion's sake. They are fighting for the promise of democracy their parents never fully received, and maybe, just maybe, they are the generation that will finally make power listen. The system may fight back, but this generation is not logging off anytime soon. Ridah Chebet, Newsroom, Maisha TV.